So I feel like I owe the UKMA community a bit of an explanation, basically because I did a lot of campaigning work for a while, for about 2 years, 2022 through 2024, and then I kind of stopped fairly abruptly, and I imagine some people might be wondering what happened to me. Um, and the short answer is, for a while my health was too bad. I couldn't really do anything, but my health has improved since then. But I've sort of reevaluated my life, and I've decided that for now, campaigning doesn't, it's just not right for me right now, and I'm not doing it anymore for the moment, or maybe ever. And I'm gonna spend the rest of the video explaining that in detail in case anyone is interested. And I'm reading a thing, and just with the brain fog, there's no way I could remember all the things I wanted to say, so I did type it up and I'm reading. So I was running the CFS medical education campaign, and I was doing a few other campaigning things as well. Looking back, I did a lot of campaigning work, and I'm quite amazed that I managed to do as much as I did, because I do have moderate ME. I'm really quite ill. I mean, I'm spending most of my time just sort of either resting or trying to do the basic daily life stuff. So I was managing to do some campaigning because I gave campaigning absolutely every bit of energy that I have. Apart from the most basic survival stuff, I was just doing campaigning, and that was it. And that actually worked out well for me, because I have always been a sort of obsessive person who likes to have one project and just work obsessively on it. So it was kind of good for me in a way, and it gave me a sense of purpose, which I really needed. I wanted to say that I think sometimes people were confused by why I would do one kind of campaigning work and not do another project. There are a lot of things people asked me to do that I turned down. I would say, no, I can't do that. I don't have the capacity. And I think sometimes people were confused. And something I've learned about myself fairly recently is that I'm good at some things that most people are bad at, that I'm also really bad at some things that most people find very easy. So if at some point you asked me to help with something that seemed really easy and I said, no, I can't do that, it might be that that task was actually really hard for me, even though it should have been easy. And the thing that I'm really good at is researching a topic in depth, especially a technical or scientific or medical topic. Researching a topic, presenting the results in a clear and simple way, writing persuasively, that's the kind of stuff that I'm good at. So those were the sorts of things I focused on. I'm proud of the work I did. I also started to find that I was getting really stressed, and it was kind of wearing me down. When I was doing campaigning work on medical education, I would sometimes talk to medical people, medical educators. This is uncomfortable, but I just want to kind of be open and honest about some of the experiences I had doing it. I found that I ended up kind of changing my personality somewhat, so I was sort of changing myself to make myself acceptable to medical people. So I sort of acted in a way that basically I was sort of making sure I was smartly dressed, and I spoke in a way that was very smart and very sort of like middle class and educated, and I acted like the people I spoke to deserved my respect, even if I didn't really think they did. I acted like all the problems with CFS medical care and medical education were just sort of like random accidents. I didn't talk about systemic bias when I spoke to medical people. I didn't talk about how badly we really are treated. I didn't say that we're treated with astonishing cruelty and a total lack of professionalism. When I spoke with medical educators, I realized that they basically think that doctors are like a higher form of life. They believe that doctors are good and trustworthy people just because they are doctors. And I went along with that, which, okay, looking back, I'm sort of ashamed of all this, right? I'm being honest about the way I sort of found myself shaping myself to be this person who would be acceptable to the kind of people I wanted to talk to. And looking back, I just feel like actually that was completely different from who I really am. And I'm not really happy that I acted like that. I also found that there was so much work to do that it was very all or nothing. I had to give it my entire focus or else not do it at all. So it kind of took over my entire life and became my entire personality, which wasn't really healthy. I also found that I thought that I was getting people to listen to me, and I really wasn't. What was really happening was that I was getting people to pay lip service to me. I was getting people to sort of smile and nod at me for 5 minutes and be polite, but they weren't really listening. The only people who listened, some did. Some medical people, medical educators did listen carefully and thoughtfully and take on board what I said, but those were the ones that were already on board. I didn't change anyone's mind. Another thing I've written here that I wanted to just say, just let it out. I kind of had a naive belief that when you talk to medical educators, it would be enough to just be right. That was very naive. But I thought if you have science behind you, if you have clinical guidelines, for God's sake, behind you, then I thought that would just be a slam dunk. I thought medical education is in an ivory tower, right? The hospitals, the GP surgeries, they're in the real world, they have real world pressures, but I thought medical education, it should be all about what's true, what's evidence-based, and certainly clinical guidance. I thought it would be so easy to get medical educators to accept what is uncontroversially true. And I was wrong. Because the science doesn't matter, the clinical guidance doesn't matter, none of those things don't matter because no one reads them. Doctors don't read them, medical educators don't read them. All the science in the world is of no use whatsoever if people don't look at it. I guess in a way I just wanted to do a bit of an apology, because for a while I was doing all this work campaigning for people and now I'm not. And I think, look, that people with ME we all deserve someone to fight for us. We deserve someone who will fight relentlessly for us. For a while I thought I could be that person, but it turns out I don't think I can. I think I really can't. I am really excited about some things happening in the UK right now. There for ME are an amazing group. Invest in ME are fantastic. ME Action, but ME Local Groups Network does interesting things. Hope for ME and Fibro in Northern Ireland. There's a lot of wonderful groups doing exciting things. I think there is progress happening, but it's incredibly slow. It's so slow. And that's pretty much all I had to say. Thank you so much if someone actually listened to this very rambly, very random video. Thank you so much for listening.